Playmakers, how's it going? This is Coach Wood, and we are ready to get after it, baby. This is the Weekday Huddle, where we come in Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, with Coach Wood, and we huddle up about the topics that matter to the football players, the parents of football players, and the coaches out there, you guys. So we are going to get after it today. If you're joining us for the very first time, welcome to the channel. As you can see, we're all about football here. And if that's you, then you're in the place to be, baby. Also, go down in the description box. We've got some amazing resources for all of you football players and you families of football players out there. But we are not going to hesitate. We are going to get right into today's topic. And today is a special one, you guys, because the game has changed. The game has changed, and now, as we know, we've got to deal with the transfer portal, right? We've got the transfer portal where you got kids that have been in college 6, 7, 8, 9 years that are now eligible for these schools to come get them on their team. It's free agency, it's wild, wild west, it's the whole deal. We know the transfer portal. But what's not being talked about as much about the transfer portal, you guys? We know that it's putting some of the high school kids and JC kids on the back burner, but what's not being talked about is how the transfer portal is causing some coaches their jobs. The transfer portal is causing some coaches their jobs. A lot of them are getting out of the industry or being let go faster than usual because they're picking the wrong kids in the transfer portal. And they're either getting burnt out mentally, where they don't want to deal with it, and they're not happy that the game has changed and they're getting out of the game, or the production isn't there. The production isn't there. There's off the field issues. There's in-house bickering. There's lack of respect from the new players to the coaches. And a lot of stuff is unraveling. It's unraveling, you guys. And it's because they're picking the wrong kids out of the transfer portal. You know, it's one thing to say no to fabulous high school talent, fabulous junior college talent, and fabulous prep school talent, to choose an older kid in the transfer portal. But when you choose the older kid in the transfer portal and he ends up being a cancer to your program, or you're paying him a lot of NIL money and there is no production. Coach Prime had kids on the bench. He had a kid on the bench making $500,000. And he was on the bench. Other schools have had kids making the same or more that have been on the bench or not produced anywhere close to what that family, what that school was expecting them to do. And in today's college football, if we're paying you as a coach and we're paying your team and you guys aren't doing what that money is expected to do, arrivederci. Goodbye, sayonara. We do not want to see you anymore. So coaches are losing their jobs faster than ever because they're making the wrong portal decisions. But how could they make the right portal decisions? This is all brand new. You know, coaches had a pedigree. They had a system of when it was getting kids out of the high school ranks and getting kids out of the junior college ranks. But they've never had a system. They've never had a pedigree and a training for getting kids out of the portal. And the windows to get a kid out of the portal are tight. I could recruit a kid for 4 years at a high school. I could know this kid for 2 or 3 years at this high school. I've been to that high school. We pluck kids out of that high school. I love the coach at that high school, and he's been telling me about this kid for years. Matter of fact, he told me when he was coming to his school out of 8th grade. So I've gotten to see this kid over the years. I've gotten a chance to meet his parents. I've gotten plenty of feedback from the coaches and people around the school, the teachers, the custodian. But with the portal, you guys, the portal is totally different. They don't get really any feedback on these kids. A matter of fact, unless they recruited the kid from high school, they know very, very little, 9 times out of 10, about the kids that they're getting out of the portal. All they're doing is watching film. And a lot of these schools, and you know who you are, you're recruiting kids out of the portal basically based off of the big school that they're coming from. Oh, that kid's coming from Penn State. Or, oh, we can get that lineman from Texas. And you're recruiting a kid that you have no idea what his work ethic is like, his character, his family life, his off the field issues and vices. Have no idea. Whereas opposed to that high school kid you've been hearing about for the last 3 or 4 years. So the recruiting game is different. And a lot of these college coaches are starting to get burned now. They're starting to get burned because they don't know how to recruit the portal. And how could you? Of course it's going to be difficult to recruit out the portal unless you're getting a Carson Beck or someone that's tried and true and you know what you're getting. A lot of times these coaches are getting duds. You know, when you get the firework and you think it's about to blast off and you got the whole family in the street and you're ready to go and it's a dud. That's what they're getting at these colleges. And they're paying for the duds. Top dollar. Top dollar. When you got somebody like Kurt Signetti not paying top dollar, the lowest Power 4 school as far as team salary in the playoffs, and he wins it all. And not only does he win it all, he dominates. That's someone that knows how to recruit the portal. See, it's a totally different day and age, and some of these coaches better be scared because you think you got this bomb recruiting staff and you guys are going heavy in the portal. Okay, well, do they know how to recruit the portal? Do they know how? Does your GM and your player personnel guy really know how to find talent out of the portal? Because talent out of the portal isn't just talent. It's got to be somebody that's still got some heart, that's still got something in the tank, that's still not wrapped up in the money that they've already made or that they're about to make, where they're not going to give you a major effort. These coaches are struggling with respect from the players, and these coaches are struggling with the effort from these players out of the portal. And shame on you. If you are going to pass all of these kids that are looking for a home, that can play their tails off, get the kid out the portal, and his first question to you is, how much am I getting paid? Then shame on you if you get burned. If the kid's question is, how much do I get paid, and he's coming out the portal, you better run for the hills. These coaches are getting burned, you guys. And it's a lot of these younger coaches too, but it's all of them. Which are, and it's going to be a whole new day and age in college football, because at the highest level, because they have to go into the portal, you can't have a whole team of teenagers and young 20-somethings because you're playing against guys that are 25, 26, 27. So you can't have a whole team that is just wet behind the ears. But you can't have a whole team of older guys that aren't bought into the culture, that aren't bought into you as a coach, that just want money. It's the same scenario as a guy marrying somebody and the woman's just coming for the money. There's no love. So whenever there's a wave between that coach and that player, or that program and that player is going to run. He's going to ditch you so fast, you're not even going to know what happened. And he's taking the NIL money with him. It's the effort. The effort has changed. When I came out of high school and I went to college, you had to give maximum effort because there was no money. The only chance for money is if you go to the NFL. So they knew, the college coaches knew when they recruited a kid from high school or junior college, they were going to give maximum effort. And if they didn't, they'll send you home. But they knew they were going to get maximum effort because everybody was thinking, I got to give the effort here so I can get to the money. Now they don't have to get an effort in college because they already got the money. So it is going to be very, very interesting as we move through this era of college football, which schools can really recruit the portal properly, which schools can get the production that they're paying for out of the portal, because a lot of them aren't, you guys. A lot of these GMs, a lot of these coaches, these player personnel, they're doing bad deals. It's bad business. They're paying way too much for the production they're getting back. It's bad business. And if you do bad business in today's college football, guess what? You don't have a job. You don't have a job for long. So, a lot of these coaches better get hip real quick to how to find kids who are ready to be productive, still want to be coached, still yes sir, no sir kids out of the portal. I think we kind of see the route that Signetti's going. Now, he took a lot of players with him that were already with him from JMU, but these are lunch pail kids. Even though Fernando Mendoza is getting paid, he's a lunch pail kid. You know you're going to get everything you got from Fernando Mendoza. So a lot of these schools are about to be in trouble, and we may see a shift of the top tier teams. We may see a shift of the top tier teams because this isn't recruiting in high school. This isn't the same model. We had the teams that got to the top from the tried and true model of recruiting in high school, recruiting in junior college, and developing guys. Well, that's not the model anymore. Now, if you're at the top tier Power 4 schools, if you're at FBS schools, the portal is going to be a huge portion of your recruiting. But do you know how to recruit the portal? And a lot of these coaches are getting burned, and their jobs are going to go right with it. There's a particular way that you have to recruit out the portal, and not everything in the portal is good. And a lot of these teams are grabbing the nice shiny fruit that's not so good when you bite into it, and these kids are laying down on them. These kids are laying down on these coaches because you already cut the check. So very, very interesting times, but we are hearing from across the country. We talk to coaches on a daily basis for our recruiting of the players that we work with, and we get kids off to college with before you go pro. So we hear a lot of conversations that don't go public, and a lot of coaches are disgruntled, you guys. The position coaches are disgruntled. The head coaches are disgruntled. The player personnel and GM guys, because they don't feel like they're getting enough bang for their buck. I could be a position coach and maybe multiple kids in my DB room. I could be the position coach at Ohio State, and maybe there's multiple kids in my DB room that make more than me. So what's the dynamic? What kind of kid did I recruit? You're going to find out what type of kid you recruited if he's making more than you. If you're giving him a lot of money, you're about to find out the type of kid you recruited. Can he be a pro and say, hey, I know I'm making $500,000. I know I'm making $600,000, but coach me hard, coach. I need to get better. I want to go to the league, or I need to be the best I can be at this level. Please coach me hard. Yes, sir, no, sir type coach. Did you get that type of player out the portal? Or did you get somebody else's trash that was a cancer, but he was a 5-star or a 4-star, and he went to South Carolina, and now you're the smaller school, and you're just like, please come to us. And he does not care about your school. He wants a check, and then if you don't do things his way, he's going to say, I'm going to lay down. So a lot of these coaches and these programs are starting to see, hey, the portal might not be the best thing, especially if we don't understand how to recruit the portal, how to get the right kids out of the portal. And these coaches are getting burned. And it's not going to be different in 2026. We just had a whole wave of the portal, and everybody got to pick their fruit. You're going to see whose money was worth it, whose money panned out when we get to the fall. We know Indiana's money panned out. We know Miami's money panned out. There's a lot of teams that were frustrated after this year because they had guys on the bench, or they had guys just flat to lay down on them that they paid a lot of money to. So word out to you coaches out there, wishing you guys the best of luck. But hey, you live and die by the portal. You better know how to recruit the portal. And my suggestion to you is take a closer look at some of these high school and junior college and prep school kids too, because they're ready to go. All right. So hopefully you guys got a lot out of today's show. Hey, this is all new. All of this is new, and we're going to figure it out together. And we're going to report on it with Before You Go Pro in the Weekday Huddle, you guys. So whether you're an athlete that's in the portal, maybe you'll be in the portal one day, or maybe you're a high school or junior college kid, everybody's figuring this thing out. But for you coaches out there, if you're going to go hard in the portal, you better find out how to pick the right ones out of the portal. You might not have a job. I'm Coach Wood. We'll see you at the top.